Hello, it's your boy Nickavelli. You on Nickavelli TV. Make sure y'all like and subscribe, y'all, at the end of this video. Please share, like. You can even thumb the video down. Just don't sit there and not watch Nickavelli. You're playing yourself. You're not playing me. You're playing yourself. Well, I'm going to get into it. I'm here to talk about no other than Dennis Smith Jr. and what his future holds as a Knickerbocker. Yeah. Dennis Smith Jr., 2017 lottery pick. He is now at the end of his rookie contract where he's getting paid $5.7 million to be exact. For those who follow Dennis Smith Jr. knows that he came from North Carolina where he played 34 games averaging 5 points. Yeah. When he came into the NBA, he went to the Dallas Mavs. And from the Dallas Mavs, he came to the New York Knicks. And the reason why that became possible is due to the Snake and Chris Porzingis. Yeah, we laid out everything for the Snake. The Snake rattled his tail, and he started biting New Yorkers all over the city. Yeah. I wish no success to Chris Porzingis as he currently is playing in Orlando bubble, averaging 22 points and 10 rebounds. Only if the dunk that Frank Ntilikina attempted to make on Chris Porzingis would have connected. But good effort for Officer Frankie. I appreciate you for that. Yeah. But let's talk about Dennis Smith Jr., y'all. Leon Rose could very well be looking to trade Dennis Smith Jr., although he was recently heard saying that Dennis Smith Jr. is a special kind of player. But some is questioning how sincere was he when he made that statement. Some say, oh, Leon Rose just made that statement to boost up the trade value concerning Dennis Smith Jr. Some say that Dennis Smith Jr. attitude stinks, and if he don't get his shit together, he could very well find himself playing in China. Wow. What do you think about that? I mean, Dennis Smith Jr. has been through a lot. He is a shooter, but he don't play defense, and he don't share the rock. So how is that going to work with a defensive coach we have in Tom Thibodeau? Can it be workable? Or is it a done deal for Dennis Smith Jr.? Like I said, Dennis Smith Jr. been through a lot. His stepmother has passed away. He missed 3 weeks concerning that. Then it was a time he had an injury. I think a thigh injury. I'm not sure. Don't quote Nickavelli. But I know he was injured. He was out for a month. And then it was a time when he missed the last 7 games of the season due to a concussion. Come on, man. So, is his life experience interfering with his game? Or is there any game left in Dennis Smith Jr.? Who wants to see Dennis Smith Jr. in lineup? Can Tom Thibodeau resurrect Dennis Smith Jr. into a point guard like Derrick Rose? Is it possible? Or is we simply dreaming? Are we dreaming concerning the comeback when we speak of Dennis Smith Jr.'s game? What are we going to do with Dennis Smith Jr.? Does he even want to remain in New York as a Knickerbocker? Maybe that's the number one question I asked Dennis Smith Jr. himself. How do you feel about being a Knickerbocker? Is he going to be cancer in the locker room concerning his attitude? It's one thing to have game, but if you're not a team player, then it's going to affect the rest of the roster concerning the youth core. So I would like to know, man, how are we going to maneuver Dennis Smith Jr.? Should we hold on to Dennis Smith Jr. and just see what we have in store concerning his game? Because like I said, we have a whole new complete staff. We have a new team president, Leon Rose. We got Tom Thibodeau as the head coach, and we got Mike Woodson as the assistant coach. Can all these new names in the front office give a little spark to the attitude of Dennis Smith Jr., where he'll feel like he have a fresh new start with the New York Knicks? Or when draft night comes, we ship him out express mail. Nicovelli need to know. I would like to know your input. I'm going to be listening in the comments. And let's go Knicks.